Uganda has over 5,000 chimpanzees, with over 1,500 of them living in Bwindi. To discuss conservation and tourism at length, we have the CEO of Ed Safaris, who also dabbles as the first daughter, Ms. Diana Kyaremera. We are happy to have you. My name is Brandy Valentine Azere, Communication Officer, Ministry of ICT, and let this episode of the Ugandan podcast begin. We're happy to have you, Ms. Diana. Welcome to the Ugandan podcast.
I'm happy to be here. Thank you for having me.
Yeah. Thank you for having a whole record that says you have been, you've spent over 15 years in conservation. How has that been? And I'm very sure that involves also your career in starting Ed Safaris. How has that gone for you?
It has been an interesting journey. I've learned a lot about our tourism. I've learned how unique the country is as a tourism product in the region, in Africa. It's made me fall in love with my country even more. Yeah, so it's been an exciting journey.
I understand that it was your birthday earlier in this month, July, and you spent your day at the UWEC, at the Uganda Wildlife Education Center. Yes. How was that, and how did you come up with that decision?
I was there earlier in, I think, March when the Duke of Edinburgh was around. But I didn't get a chance to tour it. Yes. So I told the ED that I would come back. And so I thought for my birthday, this is what I'm all about, tourism, conservation. So this was a perfect way to celebrate.
Okay, we bring you birthday wishes from the Ministry of ICT and the government as a whole. You are, understand that you're Chief Executive Officer for Ed Safaris. What brought you to starting Ed Safaris, and how has it gone? I know you're more from ticketing, now you're starting accommodation. Could you share more about that?
How it started, I visited a country, which I won't mention, which, and for me, the tourism experience wasn't all that, to be honest, but there were thousands of tourists.
Yes.
And I wondered, what is it that's attracting them to this? If thousands of people can come and visit this country, for sure, Uganda could also benefit from this. Yes. So I got into the industry. But the more I got into it, I realized this is really unique. Yes. There's so much that we as Ugandans take for granted. And then I realized that this could be a platform to change the perception of the country out there.
Yes. Yeah. Okay. We are glad that you took that step in your career, because I was doing some research before we did this interview, and I found that you had a fundraiser dinner for the chimpanzees for their strategy. Yes, and how did we also get there, and how is it doing? We have 5,000 chimpanzees, and how do we get here, and how is that going?
This was an initiative that's a collaboration between government and the Jane Goodall Institute.
Yes.
So Mama was a patron for Ngamba Island. But now that she's a bit more busy with the Ministry of Education and Sports, she kind of delegated that role to me. So that's how I got involved with chimpanzee conservation. Yes. The fundraising did well. Yes. The strategy is for the next 10 years. Yes. They were looking to raise quite a bit of money to improve the chimpanzee habitat and, hopefully increase the number of chimps. In Africa, I mentioned this at the fundraising, in 1900, we had about 1 million chimpanzees.
Wow.
In the whole of Africa.
Okay.
Now, we're down to about 100,000.
With 5,000 of them being in Uganda.
5,000 of them being in Uganda.
Yes.
So I don't think we're doing too badly in terms of the chimpanzees. Yeah. I can talk about some of the other wins we have had as a country in terms of conservation. The International Union for Conservation of Nature categorized our rhinos as critically endangered.
All right.
indigenous to Uganda were the black rhinos. Okay. In the 70s, they were poached into extinction.
All of them?
All.
That's crazy.
Black rhinos are extinct in Uganda right now. So what the government decided to do was put a stopgap measure. And they brought in southern white rhinos from South Africa. So the ones that we have currently at Ziwa Rhino Sanctuary, those are southern white rhinos. They are not indigenous to Uganda, but we thought it's better to have something than nothing at all. So there are, I think, about 41 at the Rhino Sanctuary and 2 at the UWEC. So 43 altogether. That's a win.
Yeah, a win is a win.
Since we're coming from 0 to something now. Apart from the rhinos, the gorillas. Gorillas, the mountain gorillas are our biggest tourist attraction, of course. There are only about 1,063 mountain gorillas left in the world. Of that, 459 are found here in Uganda.
I like how you have all these stats. It's so interesting. The statistics are overwhelming.
Obviously, I'm passionate about this.
Yes, you are.
I'm passionate about this. Yes, so that's a win. In early 2000s, we were at about 300 gorillas. So now they're about 459. So I think we're doing well. We were originally listed at critically endangered. Now we've been downlisted to endangered. So some improvement. Apart from that, the elephant population has quadrupled. We are now at about 8,000. Giraffes were about 2,000. Buffaloes were at about 44,000. So those are not doing too badly. So I would call that a win. However, in the last 6 years, poaching has been on the rise in the parks. So we have had a loss, especially for the lions.
I saw you with. I was actually coming there. I saw you with little, the child of a cubs. Yes. I was gonna say I saw you with little. I saw you with cubs, and they were so cute, and you seemed to be having a good time with them.
That was at a conservation center. But in the wild, in the parks, the lions have been really poached within the parks.
That's so sad.
And in the last 6 years, because there were about 493 lions in the whole country about 6 years ago. Now we're down to about 275.
That makes less kings of the jungle.
Absolutely. And you know, Queen Elizabeth is famous for its tree climbing lions. At the Shasha. Now there are only 39 in Queen Elizabeth. So the reason I really wanted to come here is to raise that awareness. These animals, we are stewards, we're custodians. They are magnificent, they're ancient, and we have that privilege to be custodians of them. It would be a shame to see them die out on our watch.
What solutions would you propose? Like, if someone had 3 things to implement to help this conservation cause and preserve these lions and all the other animals, what would you encourage them to do?
I will echo Muze's words. He spoke at a conservation conference in Nanyuki, Kenya, I think in 2017. He said the best way to help with conservation is to invest in tourism. Because when people start seeing the benefit of having these animals alive, they'll think, okay, there's no need to poach them or kill them or engage in illegal wildlife trade. Because at the moment, the reason people are poaching these animals, like the rhinos, they're selling the horns on the black market, they're getting more money. But if tourism was really thriving, people are getting employed, there would be no need. They would find that the animals are worth more to them alive than dead.
Yes.
So that would be the first thing. Second thing, I would say, would hopefully UA would be able to combat poaching.
UA is Uganda Wildlife Authority. Sometimes some people don't know these things, so when we use acronyms, they get lost a little more. Yes.
Within the parks.
Yes.
And lastly, it would just be raising awareness within the communities. Most conservation activities should also support the communities that surround those protected areas.
Yes.
If you're helping them engage in different economic activities, they wouldn't have any reason to go into the parks to poach.
Okay. If you had 3 places to visit in Uganda, which places are these?
Ginger, because of the source of the Nile.
Yes.
It's very beautiful and iconic.
Yeah.
Murchison Falls.
Okay.
Very beautiful as well.
Yes.
And of course, Bwindi.
And
Impenetrable forest.
Bwindi must be your favorite.
Absolutely. I love it. I love Kisoro. It's an amazing place. It's like another world.
Even the terrace is so beautiful.
Yes.
And the green is spectacular.
Yes.
Have you been to Ginger before?
Of course. Of course.
Yeah,
the only place I haven't really visited that much is in the east.
Yes.
Sipi, that area.
Yeah.
And Kidepo.
I would also want to go to Kidepo. There is an airport that is how is that? Is that exciting for you and the industry?
Very exciting, really. Government has really invested in some of our infrastructure.
Yes.
They've done renovations at our international airport in Entebbe.
Yes.
And then Kabalega Airport, and now this new airfield in Kidepo. That's very exciting for us. Our national carrier, Uganda Airlines, is now operational. It makes our lives so much easier.
And it's actually cheaper.
Yeah. Direct flight to Uganda.
Yeah.
That's amazing.
In the center, most of the things that have been conserved there have been for the museum. It has been most of historical, and I remember, I think it was last month when they brought back different
artifacts.
Yes. What did they call them?
Artifacts from, I think it was from the UK.
Yes. How was that for you?
That's very exciting.
Yeah.
I'm a historian by training, so that's very exciting.
Okay. So now that we are the Ministry of ICT, I would like to give you a small brief. We last year, in 2023, in August, we introduced a digital transformation roadmap. This roadmap stands on 5 pillars: infrastructure and connectivity, digital skills, e-services, cybersecurity and privacy, and innovation and entrepreneurship. How is the conservation system embracing this to make work easier or better or more efficient?
I'll talk about tourism and conservation.
Yes.
I think tourism was one of the first industries to embrace digital technology.
Yes.
They use it especially for booking tourism products online, like accommodation. You can, go online, book your hotel. This young generation that's always online. Book your hotel, book your tickets. That's really the major way we're using digital technology. And then, of course, marketing, online marketing and social media.
Correct.
In the future, maybe we'll embrace more VR, AR technology for our tours, doing city tours or historical tours on our smartphones. That's something that your generation can.
Our generation has so much pressure, but we shall live up to the goal. Yes, okay. And also innovation and entrepreneurship. I feel like people are innovating around that same circle. We were having a conversation with Amos Wekesa And we're thinking about all these innovations, local grown solutions, solving local grown problems. Yeah, so digital transformation, I think, is good for everyone.
Absolutely.
Yeah, everyone should embrace digital transformation.
Absolutely. It's the way of the future, right?
It is. What are your favorite? Give me 3 songs you'd listen to, Ugandan songs.
Oh, wow.
You can give us the ones of your generation, since you're very...
Okay. Ugandan songs. I used to be a fan of Radio and Weasel.
Yes. Oh my God. Their music is legendary.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
Now, recently, I started listening to Vinka.
Nice.
And let me see one other artist. That's a hard one.
Yeah. I'm going to start sending
there's a new gentleman who does instrumental.
Michael Omer?
Yes.
Michael Omer.
No, Mugabe? Is he
Kenneth
Mugabe?
Mugabe.
Something like that, yeah.
He had a concert this weekend.
Yes. Amazing.
Yeah, the Pride, I think it was the Pride of the Pearl concert.
Yes.
Yeah, I think it was really... Okay. I like your test. I would applaud you on that.
I've tried.
Yes, you have. We're going to be very modest, really. You are the first daughter. And I want us to talk about how government should support private sector, because despite the fact that you're partly government, you are also private sector.
I'm not government.
Okay, you're private sector.
Private sector, yes.
Yes, but the government is headed by His Excellency Yoweri Museveni, who also happens to be your father, and also the government is doing the most it can to support tourism. And what should government do better?
I would say the first thing would be marketing.
Marketing.
More marketing.
Okay.
I think there's been an improvement in the
Yes.
last few years. We had Poate like 2 months ago.
Yes, the second one. I think it's
Yes, the second one.
Yeah.
It was very well done.
Yeah.
I was very happy with
I'm glad.
what our tourism board did, but would need more international marketing.
Okay.
I know they have some things in the works that are coming up that are exciting.
Okay.
So they're working on it.
All right.
Infrastructure, as we had talked about the airports, the national carrier.
Yes.
Some of our tourism roads have been upgraded, but Bwindi area, those roads could be improved on, and supporting more investment in the accommodation
Yes.
sector.
Is the internet okay in the tourism sites?
It could be better.
Okay, you know, you're the Minister of ICT. You give us feedback. We work in the middle. We
Yes,
meet each other.
please. It could be better.
Yeah.
Could be better.
We're going to bring 5G to tourism. Don't worry. We are working on it. The national backbone infrastructure is already rolling.
Okay.
There is a project we're doing with NITA, the National IT Authority. And we're laying fiber to just enhance all this connectivity in rural areas and everywhere. So don't worry.
That's exciting.
Yes.
Good to hear.
Okay. So that aside, conservation goes far from animals and trees and more also to the ozone layer and so much more. So what strategies should in Uganda's plan to improve conservation across the border?
I mean, in terms of climate change.
Thank you very much. We are on the same page.
That's under the Ministry of Water and Environment, and they've been very active in participating in the climate change conferences. They were at this last one in Dubai.
In Dubai COP.
Yeah.
Yes.
Yeah, I think they're right now formulating policy to regulate some of those issues, especially to do with carbon credits, because many people believe, conservation groups believe, that those carbon credits can pay for most of the conservation work that's necessary.
Yes.
So that's still a work in progress.
Yes.
So hopefully if it does go through, conservation will take on a life of its own.
Yeah. What's your take on hybrid cars for conservation?
It would be amazing.
Yeah.
I think it might be a bit expensive putting the infrastructure in place.
Yeah, the charging and everything.
Exactly. But we have our electric buses already working, so we're already on point. We're doing very well.
We're doing very well.
Yes.
All right. Thank you very much. That is actually a very good insight. I want us to do a thing called Quickfire. Are you ready for it?
No, but let's go.
Okay, so the whole thing about Quickfire is I ask you a question and then you answer very fast. There are only 5. Yeah.
I'll try.
Okay, 1, 2, 3, drum roll.
Yes.
Okay. What's your favorite season?
Rainy.
The rainy season, yeah.
As a farmer.
As a farmer. Your sister would be proud.
Yeah.
So I had the farm last time. What's your favorite food?
I'll go with our local cuisine.
Yes. Which one in particular?
So let's see. Our staple, which is matoke.
Matoke. Okay. All right. I will. I'm definitely going with Irish. But okay. Yeah. So it's not. But it's not about me. So name a 4-letter word that starts with T.
T. Team.
Team. Yes, because you're such a good team player. One subject you'd want to learn more about.
History.
Yeah.
The history of Africa.
Okay. I see you participated in the history of our country when you were an actress in the 27 Guns. Oh my God, you did so well.
Thank you.
Yes. Which word do you have a hard time pronouncing? Which word do you have a hard time pronouncing?
I'm not sure I would say a hard time, but this is something I learned recently. You know, Ugandans, there's a word we say, sachet.
Sachet. Okay, I need a more here.
I recently learned that it's actually sachet.
Sachet?
Yes.
I want a sachet of salt. So you learned it's a sachet. I could be borderline on what you're saying, but I will not embarrass myself. But you're right. It's such a nice one. Now, okay, let me take a. Okay, fine. So, what plans as a Ugandan? I want to know. I'm staying at the shores of Bwindi. I'm staying in next to Renzori. How do I benefit from all these establishments that people are putting up? Manya, what lodge, that lodge, and da da da.
The easiest would be employment.
Employment.
Yes.
Yeah.
Because most lodges are especially those that have got concessions from government or from our wildlife authority. There's the element of community involvement, community development, which means you're employing the local people, training them.
Yes.
That's the biggest.
Yeah.
Okay. And I would say for tourism as an industry, it's something that trickles down to the grassroots.
Okay.
It's not something that stays in investors and is taken out to the country. No, it goes down to the real people.
Yeah. And also I feel like these people have the biggest capacity to promote local tourism. That's actually something we had not touched, but because most of the time when people talk about tourism, it's more of someone is living in the UK or the US to come and visit Uganda. Yet we can also do the same. Could you encourage people kindly on this podcast to do local tourism?
Absolutely. As I said, for myself as a Ugandan, until I got into the industry, there's so much I didn't know about my own country.
Yes.
And the more I got involved, the more I realized how unique it is. So I'd urge all Ugandans really to not to take our country for granted. Go out there, especially the young people. We're adventurous. We love to travel. So instead of going off to Dubai or wherever for your next trip, pack up and go to one of our parks and explore. Explore Uganda.
Yes. Lily Ajarova will be so proud when she hears you. I'm not going to refute. Dubai is nice, but also Ginger, you guys, we have had so much fun there. We've gone rafting. And then we have done, this is for me and my friends. I'll speak for me and my friends. Bungee jumping, never doing it again. I almost,
you've done it?
Yes.
Wow.
I did it one time.
You're brave.
Yeah. Have you done it?
No.
Well,
That's the one I've not done.
Yeah.
I've done the gorilla trick twice.
Yes.
Have you done a gorilla trick?
No, but I did a walk in some rice plantation in Kanungu.
Okay. So I'd invite you, Brandy, and your team.
Yes.
Next time we go gorilla tricking.
Okay. So me and my friends are inviting you that next time we go bungee jumping.
That one I don't know.
No, you don't know. Okay,
yes.
we shall reach a consensus eventually. All right. Where do you see the utopia, right? We're living reality, and now we're in the future. We're in the virtual reality system, and where do we see tourism in the long term?
I would love to see the number of tourist arrivals increase.
Yeah.
Right now we're at about 1 million. In the next 5-10 years, if we could bring that up to 5-6 million, it would greatly impact our economy for the better. Yeah. So there are countries like Egypt, South Africa, Kenya, where tourism is a huge foreign exchange earner. Uganda, with even the little investment we've put in, tourism is earns about 7.6 of our GDP. So imagine how much more we could achieve if we invested a bit more and made it really a priority.
Okay. Yeah. All right.
But having said that,
yes,
I would also I'd also like to. I spoke about the infrastructure that government has invested in.
Yes.
But some of the other things or initiatives they have done to support the sector.
Yes.
After COVID, because COVID
was crazy.
Yes.
Yes.
It really impacted our industry. They funded through UDB, Uganda Development Bank, a facility for SMEs, small to medium enterprises, to help with recovery.
Yes.
I don't know if many people know about that, but it's something that's available to the private sector.
Okay.
And another thing that they do to help support the private sector is the tax exemptions through URA.
Okay. The Uganda Revenue Authority.
Yes.
Yes.
For input to the tourism industry. For example, safari vehicles can come in tax exempt, boats, or those in the hotel lodging sector, you can bring in equipment, furniture, tax exempt.
Okay.
So that's a huge help. Yes. Another thing that they've done in the last 2 years, Uganda Wildlife Authority has given concessions, I think, to about 12 new investors into the country for development into accommodation in the parks, in our protected areas.
That's awesome.
And I believe they have already identified another 20 sites, and they are working together with our investment authority to find credible investors. Yeah. So the future is bright.
Yes.
For the industry.
Yes, I'm so humbled by your particularity, how particular you are in knowing everything that is happening for the development and the good of this nation. And we thank you for it, for sure. And what do you love about Uganda? 3 things.
3. The first, obviously, the people.
The people.
The people are very friendly, very hospitable, very funny. Our sense of humor is unmatched on the continent. Ugandans are very funny people.
Yeah, they'll make a joke out of anything.
Anything.
And yet take it very seriously.
Yes, yes.
Yes.
Then the biodiversity. Yeah. Because it's such a small country, but the the amount of things that you find here, it's incredible. We have the Nile, we have the mountains, mountains of the moon, Rwenzori, Elgon. We have all the parks. We have the mountain gorillas. So all types of vegetation, savanna, rainforest. It's amazing what you can find. Over 1,200 bird species. You could say it's the Garden of Eden.
Ooh.
We've been sitting on this gold mine, really, and we keep saying it has so much potential. But now that potential needs to be realized.
Absolutely. We are the pearl of Africa, for sure. As we come to the end of the podcast, do you have any words of hope, of love, of encouragement to anyone listening to you or watching you on the Ugandan podcast?
Definitely. I send greetings, warm greetings from Uganda, our love from myself, my family, from the country.
Yes.
Hope for the future, for sure. We just need to keep at it, whichever industry we're in, as Ugandans, keep pushing the dream. Yeah.
Keep the faith.
Keep the faith.
Yes. All right. So if anyone wanted to reach you on your socials or anywhere, where would they find you? I'll tell you the Instagram one. I'm joking.
Yes, I'm on Instagram. I think that's the only platform I'm on.
Yeah.
And in terms of social media. So, yeah, Diana Museveni Kyaremera.
Okay.
Yeah.
All right. And at the Ministry of ICT, you can find us at MOICT_UG on X, and then also on Instagram. And you can find me on all platforms by just putting Brandy, and the first name that comes up will definitely be mine. I'm joking. But yeah, thank you for joining us on the Ugandan podcast. I've been your host, Brandy Valentine, and our guest has been
Diana Kyaremera.
Museveni. So, feel free to catch us on Spotify, Apple Podcasts, YouTube, and share this episode with a friend. Be passionate about conservation of your state, and this country is here for you, and you're here for it. So as we close, we say, for God and my country. Thank you. Bye.
Bye.
Thank you.
Thank you. Thank you so much.
Yeah.